Good evening, race fans. Welcome to The Late Lap, your nightly pit stop for motorsport news, commentary, and the occasional burnout of emotion. Tonight, we're doing something rare. We're going to, slow down, because once in a while, the sport gives us a reason to pause and just appreciate it. To take off the headset, look back, and say, damn, that guy really did it all. The NASCAR Hall of Fame was announced today, the class of 2026. And it is a class that brings together three very different kinds of greatness. We've got Mr. September, Harry Gant, the ageless wonder who made 50 look like the new 30. He raced with swagger and style well into his 50s. We've got Ray Hendrick, Mr. Modified, no relation to Mr. Rick, whose dominance in the lower divisions was so thorough, so sustained, that the top level almost felt like it didn't deserve him. And we've got Humpy Wheeler, the man who made Charlotte into the showpiece of NASCAR by bringing a circus tent to every race and saying, "Watch this." But this night, this moment, and this show belongs to Kurt Busch. Think about that name. Let it settle. Kurt Busch. For years, that name stirred different emotions. Depending on the era, he may have even been a wild card, a champion, a veteran, or maybe a headache. But now, tonight, he's a legend. Kurt Busch is a NASCAR Hall of Famer. Not just a Hall of Famer, he is without a doubt the headliner of this class. And it's fitting to honor a man whose career had the consistency of a metronome, the resilience of a fighter, and the arc of a Shakespearean story. He won at least one cup race in 19 of his 21 full-time seasons. Let's repeat that. 19 different seasons. That isn't longevity. That is sustained excellence. Think about that 2004 championship car, the number 97 Ford. Homestead coming off of turn 4. What do you see? He loses the tire entering the pit in the beautiful NBC sports call. It was special. Kurt won the very first Cup Series championship under NASCAR's playoff system, then called the Chase, in 2004. He was driving Jack Roush's number 97, and let me tell you, that title didn't just come easy. Remember that bizarre moment we mentioned? Where his right front wheel literally fell off as he was entering the pit? That right there could have been catastrophic. But Kurt and Jimmy Finnig, they kept their cool. The team patched him up, and he drove that car to a 5th place finish. Just enough to edge out fellow Hall of Famer Jimmy Johnson by 8 points. That day, Kurt Busch became the first playoff era or chase era champion, and in many ways, the first modern champion. But even more remarkable than his stats, is his story. Here's a guy who jumped from a legend car at the bullring in '99 to qualifying next to Jeff Gordon and in front of Dale Earnhardt at Dover just 1 year later. From hobby racing with his dad in Vegas to standing shoulder to shoulder with icons. That's not a career move. That's a movie script. And we'll be talking about a movie in later's show. Just when you thought his final chapters might be winding down, he wins again. 2022 Kansas Speedway. In a Toyota for 2311 Racing, Kurt became the only driver to have won in 4 automakers: Chevy, Ford, Dodge, and Toyota. A brand new team founded by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. That made him the only to win in 4 manufacturers, and there's a good chance he may be the only one to ever do it. Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Toyota, Ford to Ferrari, he would have done it, and that's cool. But Kurt, he went quad brand Nobody else will ever do it. Not Petty, not Gordon, not even his brother Kyle. Kurt Busch didn't just evolve over the years. He endured. He reinvented. He matured. He stumbled, yes. He lost top-tier rides at Roush and Penske, had some public battles, tough moments, and honestly, he almost didn't make it back. But that's what makes this Hall of Fame moment so powerful. They say all the time, everybody will be in the Hall of Fame, but we know that's not true. So we need true headliners. And Kurt did make it back. He learned. He grew. He found new homes, new teams, and new ways to win. And in doing so, he left a legacy bigger. He earned more wins, the poles, and even contended for more championships. He did it with grit. He did it with heart. He did it while dragging around a past that most would have used as an excuse. Kurt Busch turned chaos into comeback and turmoil into triumph. And let's not forget the era of the brothers. There used to be the Allisons and the Waltrips and the Pettys and the Jarretts. There have been families. The Busch brothers are one of the last. Together, Kurt and Kyle have more combined Cup wins than any set of brothers in history. That's right, 97 total. Not even the Allisons or the Labanis have that. So tonight, raise a toast. Or if you've got one, perhaps a monster. A Coors Light, if you're old school, or if you're fancy, a champagne. To the man who outdrove expectations, outlasted critics, and now outshines history. Kurt Busch, NASCAR Hall of Famer. That sentence hits different because it's earned, it's deserved. And even though his eligibility is fresh, I'd say it's about damn time. This was never about redemption. It was about recognition. And tonight, Kurt, Vegas kid turned Cup champion, you've got it. We'll be right back. All right, listen up. We toss the term legend around in motorsports, and, we talk about Kurt, who's very special, but he is more of a modern racer despite his over 2 decades of racing. But there's only one man in sports history whose entire job was to make NASCAR feel larger than life, and he never once failed to deliver. His name, Humpy Wheeler. If you've never heard of him, buckle in. Because this is the guy who made race day feel like a rock concert, a Hollywood production, and a 4th of July parade all rolled into one, decades before anyone else had ever thought of it. Now, this week, NASCAR finally, and I mean finally, gave Humpy his due. They named him the recipient of the 2026 Landmark Award for Outstanding Contributions to NASCAR. Folks, they've got it right. Because there's a reason fans still talk about the show at Charlotte Motor Speedway like it was a main event in its own right. Because back when most tracks were still trying to figure out how to sell nachos and souvenirs, Humpy Wheeler was creating a spectacle. You like Norwalk's fireworks? The Bader family's over-the-top showmanship at Summit Motorsports Park? That didn't start in a vacuum. Humpy was doing that decades ago. Obviously, the Baders were, the Barnum and Baileys were. But Humpy, a true legend. You ever watch a mock battlefield with tanks and pyrotechnics exploding across the infield? That was Humpy. You ever wonder where the idea for high-stakes, lights-out, drama-filled night racing at super speedways or your favorite drag strip or short oval dirt track came from? That was Humpy. He was part Barnum and Bailey, part Steve Jobs, part Bruton Smith's right-hand storm of genius. Because together, Bruton built the track, and Humpy, he brought it to life. You see, Humpy Wheeler wasn't just trying to sell tickets. He was trying to sell emotion. A reason for fans to come to the track early. A reason for them to stay late. A reason for families to bring their kids. A reason for corporate sponsors to attach their name not just to the race, but to the entire fucking movement. He built the Turn 4 grandstands into a destination. He brought in fighter jet flyovers before that was standard in professional sports. He introduced the NASCAR experience, giving fans real, hands-on access when most tracks still had them stuck outside the fence like it was Area 51. Don't forget, this is the guy who once said, "If a guy pays $40 to come in, I want to give him $80 worth of entertainment," and he meant it. Business owners out there, they listen to these shows. They listen to podcasts to learn. If there's anything I can ever tell you, let me tell you something of Humpy's opinion. Always give the customer what they deserve. People work hard for their money, and he knew it. Humpy Wheeler made NASCAR fun. He made drag racing fun, and he was extremely generous. He made NASCAR and everything he did a passionate mission. He was a former boxer, a football player, and God knows he was a storyteller. He understood that motorsports is about drama. It's about tension, about theater. And whether he was lighting up the sky with fireworks or filling that infield with his famous paratroopers, he was telling a story. Your story. You, the race fan. Every single time you walked through the gates at Charlotte or any other property he was a part of. And yeah, today we have immersive apps, digital scoreboards, LED light shows, and a bunch of yahoos on YouTube telling you what's right. But in the 1980s and 90s, the man was doing it with guts, smoke, and imagination. Nobody out-promoted him. It was something quite wild. And you all know I love the Baiters. They've come the closest. The World of Outlaws puts on a great show. NHRA tries, but Humpy Wheeler is the blueprint. There will never be a greater promoter. Let's just say it plain. Humpy Wheeler isn't the greatest promoter in NASCAR history. He's the greatest sports promoter of all time. Of all sports, of all regions. He wrote the book. He didn't just sell seats, he sold memories. And if you've ever watched a driver emerge from smoke, a jet roar overhead, or a firework light up a speedway, then we all felt those goosebumps together. And you felt the touch of Humpy Wheeler. Whether you knew it or not. Congratulations, Humpy. You weren't just part of the show. You were the show. This Sunday night, the engines will echo under the lights in Concord, Humpy's track in North Carolina, for the World 600. Marketed as the Coca-Cola 600, NASCAR's longest night, the test of a man, machine, and mentality. At 600 miles, this isn't just another cup race. This is a war of attrition, a mental gauntlet, and one of the true crown jewels of the sport. It's not just about the fastest and who's early. It's not about the dominant in stage 1 or stage 2, or even in this race, stage 3. This is about who can last, who can adjust, who can stay sharp 4 hours in when their arms are jelly. The track is gone, and there's more than 10 personalities in the groove, and you're all out of tires. And right now, I'll tell you, my pick for the Coca-Cola 600 is Denny Hamlin. The 2022 Coca-Cola 600 winner is due. He had an off weekend at North Wilkesboro, finishing 12th in the All-Star race. But if you follow Denny's career, you know that nothing's but a reset. The man thrives on longer runs, thrives on strategy, and he thrives at Charlotte. You want numbers? How about experience? Hamlin's been a mainstay at the front of this field for 2 decades. Kurt Busch was still racing when Denny got in. And while Christopher Bell grabbed headlines with us all with that All-Star win, don't let Denny's quiet Sunday fool you. The JGR driver knows how to time his runs for when they matter. The marathon plays to his strengths, and if you're looking for a statement race, this is the one. Christopher Bell is the defending Coca-Cola 600 winner and comes in red hot. He obviously took North Wilkesboro's victory and reminded us that this team can absolutely rattle off multiple wins once they're hot. Definitely watch for him to be in the mix again. William Byron hasn't won in a minute, but his best finish since Talladega came last weekend, and he says this race has been circled on the calendar. You don't circle Charlotte unless you're bringing something serious, and we've definitely seen that 24-car win in Concord. Chase Elliott has been quietly building momentum with an average finish of 11.7, tracking similarly to the 2020 championship form. He started 6th or better in 4 of the last 5 Coca-Cola 600s and has led in every single one since 2018. Man, oh man, Joey Logano led 139 laps in the All-Star, and he left visibly frustrated. He's only got 1 top 10 at Charlotte in the 2020s, but something feels different. Still, until he seals it, he's chasing rather than leading. Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney they've had the speed all year, but it comes in spurts. That front of field punch hasn't translated lately. Blaney's average finish has dipped every year since 2021, and Reddick's led only 1 lap since Darlington. And finally, Alex Bowman. He's been hot or cold. No in between. Top 9s or DNFs all season. But back in 2020, he led 164 laps in the Coke 600. We all know Hendrick knows how to show up here. The Coca-Cola 600, at the end of the night, when the rubber's melted, the grandstands are glowing, and someone's climbing out of the discipline experience, their tactical mastery, I'm still betting on Denny Hamlin. This isn't a race for chaos. This is a race for closers. So grab your water, stretch your legs, and buckle up for the grind. The Coca-Cola 600 isn't just a race, it's a legacy builder, and this Sunday, Denny Hamlin could be writing his next great chapter. Want to say hi to some folks in the comments. Looks like Merlin McFlirtner and DJ Bland, both in the comments. I appreciate both of you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. This is a big one for us. You know, we've got new graphics, we've got all kinds of things, but what we've really got is Memorial Day weekend around the corner. We already talked about the World 600, but we've also got the Indianapolis 500 coming soon. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. This is Late Lap from Studio 1396. Well, we've moved on from Charlotte and perhaps the most significant race in all of the world. The time has come. This Sunday, 33 drivers will chase motorsport immortality in the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. The Yard of Bricks, the greatest spectacle in racing, the crown jewel of American open wheel competition. And while the headlines scream about rookies on the pole, back row chaos, and King Paolo's season-long dominance, let me say this right now. Do not overlook Takuma Sato. Yeah, Robert Schwartzman is the pole sitter. He's made history before the green flag is even dropped, becoming the highest starting rookie in the race, and doing it in his first oval race ever. But let's be honest, he's got two seasoned assassins flanking him. One of them is Pato O'Ward, hungry, aggressive, and a two-time Indy 500 runner-up. But it's the other, Sato, who would keep everyone up on Saturday night. Sato doesn't just bring experience, he brings execution. He himself a two-time winner. Nearly half a century of life behind him, and yet he's still racing with the fire of a rookie and the wisdom of a world champion. He's the highest starting part-time driver in decades, and more than that, he's hungry. This is the type of driver who doesn't show up for a good run, he shows up to win. Let's talk dynamics. 200 laps, 800 corners. A field packed with 8 former winners, including Newgarden, Power, Dixon, Castroneves, Rossi, Ericsson, Hunter-Reay, and Sato himself. But only one of those drivers is starting from the front row. That's Sato. And remember, this is a man who could become the oldest winner in Indianapolis 500 history, if he pulls it off. It's not wishful thinking. This is a historical pattern. In 2017, he shocked the world. In 2020, he silenced it. And now in 2025, driving for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing, he's positioned once again to rewrite history. This isn't a driver clinging to the past. This is a man who has mastered Indy, who has shown he can pounce when others hesitate. Who knows what Indy hasn't done, but it is the best when you win on aggression. King Paolo has won 4 of the first 5 races of this season. He's fast, he's fearless, but he's also yet to crack the code at Indy. With 119 laps led in his 500 career, he clearly is close. But can he close? Scott Dixon, the icon, the most laps led in Indy 500 history at 677. But since his lone win in 2008, Indy hasn't been the heartbreak hotel for the Kiwi. Newgarden and Power. Last row starters. Penske's worst ever qualifying effort at Indy. Of course, that came with sanctions this week. From pole 1 year ago to 33rd, and a little bit better in 32nd. If they win from there, it's an all-time comeback. Schwartzman, the pole, rookie, huge accomplishment. But be real, this is the Indianapolis 500. The bricks don't blink. One mistake on lap 1 and history ends before it starts. Now, let's circle back to the man of the hour, Takuma Sato. No driver in this field understands the blend of precision and bravery quite like him, other than, frankly, his teammate, Graham Rahal. Attack and survive. That's the Sato mantra. And with clear air at the start, experience in his corner, and absolutely nothing to lose, he becomes the most dangerous man on the racetrack. Sato doesn't need points. He doesn't need a full season championship. He just needs 500 miles, clean pit stops, and one last run to the finish. This Sunday, legends will be tested. Legacies will be born. Rookies will rise. Favorites will fall. But if you're looking for the perfect mix of experience, grit, and front row firepower, look no further than the number 75. I'm picking Takuma Sato to win his 3rd Indianapolis 500. And when he does, don't say I didn't warn you. This is Late Lap, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't done a whole lot of, picking your poison, selecting your favorite drivers to win. Every week and every episode, we want to surprise you with something more. We want to bring new elements and new segments to the show. I see in our comments section DJ Bland saying he loves the new graphics, and that's what this is all about. We're going to be innovative and entertaining. It is the mission of our parent company, Appeal 5 Entertainment, to provide the highest quality of content and entertainment to you through the use of innovation. We hope we're doing so. And you know what else is entertaining? A little bit of silver screen. And that's not a typo below my face here. F1 L-V-E-R. Before anybody in the damn comments says we did it wrong, it's silver and F1. Kind of like those bullshit hashtags you see on Twitter. Okay. I don't usually go down a rabbit hole like that, but I couldn't help it. Now let's go. This is not a drill. This is not a marketing gimmick. This is not just another movie riding the fumes of a motorsport moment. No, this is the event film of the summer. I'm talking about F1 the movie. If you weren't familiar, it comes out later this year. The Brad Pitt starring, Lewis Hamilton produced, Joseph Kosinski directed real race weekend film cinematic thunderstorm that is finally coming to the big screen. And not just any screen, IMAX. 400 theaters, one night, June 23rd. I've already cleared my schedule. Don't call me, don't text me, don't expect a late lap. Don't even breathe near me unless your breath smells like popcorn. I'm going to need a Red Bull just to sit through it because it's a late release. Let's just talk about what we're getting here. First of all, Brad Pitt. But not just Brad Pitt pretending to drive in a green screen garage somewhere in Burbank. Brad Pitt at Silverstone. Brad Pitt in the garage at real Grand Prix events. In full racing kit, shot in the actual paddock against the backdrop of a real Formula One chaos. You're not going to watch this movie, you're going to feel it. That's not hyperbole. That's Carrie Condon's own words. You're going to feel like you're in the seat. And when Hans Zimmer is doing the score, I believe her. Let's give it up for the story here. Pitt plays Sonny Hayes, a washed-out F1 phenom from the 90s. I think I was one of them in the video game. And his career has flatlined after a wreck. Sound familiar? It should. This taps into the greatest motorsport story archetype ever told. Redemption. Legacy comebacks. It's Rocky Balboa of racing. He's called back by his old teammate, played by Javier Bardem, who looks like he's going full crazy-eyed genius mode as the desperate team owner, and asked to save a dying team one more time. Maybe we should call it F1 more time. Hayes lines up alongside a hotshot rookie played by Damson Idris, who brings swagger, edge, and maybe a little bit of that modern Mad Max Verstappen-esque ruthlessness. This isn't a fantasy world. This is Formula One. We watch every weekend. Politics, pressure, pit wall drama, that razor-thin gap between genius and disaster. And in true F1 fashion, your teammate is your biggest enemy. That's baked into the DNA of their sport. That's stuff of Prost versus Senna, Hamilton versus Rosberg, Vettel versus Weber. Talk about what sets this movie apart from every other racing movie. You know what they did that nobody ever has done before? They filmed during a real F1 race weekend. This wasn't a closed set with a bunch of stand-ins. They literally ran a fictional car on track with real footage, with actual F1 teams. Kosinski, the genius behind Top Gun Maverick, is taking that visceral, real camera, you're inside the helmet kind of energy, and bringing it to the damn F1. That means no fake steering, no hokey CGI, no cut to the speedometer. It will feel real, it will feel raw, loud, and violent, just like the sport. This is a film made for us, for race fans, for gearheads, for the people who sit in front of 3 monitors on Sunday morning watching onboard feeds and tire degradation charts. And finally, Hollywood's giving us the kind of realism we've always begged for. This isn't just a popcorn flick, it's a cinematic vindication for every fan who's ever had to explain why Formula One is more than just turning left. It's the same for anybody who's ever said, I really think I would like F1, but I just can't get into it. This is still for you. This is what happens when the biggest names in movies team up with the biggest names in racing. Jerry Bruckheimer, Aaron Kruger, Claudio Miranda, Mark Tildesley, Lewis Hamilton. Ring a bell? It's not just authenticity, it's artistry. And I genuinely believe this will be the best racing movie ever made. Period. June 23rd. One night only, IMAX. The sound, the fury, the speed. You'd better believe I'll be there, and I'll be grinning like a kid with a paddock pass. I can't wait. And if you love racing, cars, or cinema, even half as much as I do, you shouldn't be able to wait either. You know, folks, at the end of every great show, we reflect just a little. It's important that we talk about things that matter to us. It's important that we maintain positive energy and positivity. I've loved doing this show. I've had an absolute blast. We're already 23 episodes in. And I always say thank you. And it's a broad you. But last night we had 18,000 people see our videos, and we've only got 200 subscribers. That means you're sharing it with other people you know. That means you're commenting. And the funniest part is we also have videos that have 1 or 0 views. So we're still fine-tuning what works and what doesn't. But I want to say a special thanks to a few people. Speedmaster Jason Konchevsky out of Australia. Thank you so much for believing in us, for believing in me. I can't wait to see how we work together throughout the year. Blue Def, Old World Industry, Peak. Bob Boyle, Brian Bolander. I had a blast working with them in my previous employer, and I cannot wait to share what is next. Farber Specialty Vehicles, the world leader in industry and specialty vehicle. We're talking SWAT trucks, mobile health clinics, blood labs, crime labs, ICUs on wheels. They make it all. And with clients such as Dom Perdome, Roger Penske, even you racing fans know what they've done. When you see a giant bus or truck, it's probably a Farber. And how about Dugenet Bland, a young man that we met through Twitter some time ago, had the great privilege to give each other a bro hug a couple years back in Gainesville, Florida. And since then, we've stayed great touch. Well, now lately, we've had the chance to share ideas. Almost every morning we're texting. DJ, you know I appreciate you. Of course, my brother Isaac, I think he's tuning in. I know he was earlier. You know I love you. And thanks. He built Studio 1396, so that's pretty cool too. As I say at the end of every great show, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, smile, be happy, and until then. And to our friends in the South, sea amable consigo mismo, sea amable con otros, sonría, sé feliz, hasta entonces, cuídese. Take care.